First thing first, I owe you all a huge thank you for the support on the video I last posted. It means the world to me that no, I'm not alone in this and that there are other people out there going through the same thing. After all, that's the whole point of this, is to create a community of people that are doing this together. So thank you, seriously. However, throughout that whole conversation, I kind of realized that a good portion of you probably have no idea who I am and how I got here and the reason I freelance and any of those types of details. So let me show you. Let's start from the beginning, shall we? I was born and raised in Bozeman, Montana. I had a great childhood, hiking, skiing, fishing, you name it, we did it. When I graduated, I went to ASU to study design. School's great, but Phoenix wasn't quite doing it for me, so I transferred to Portland State University. I received a scholarship for vocal performance, but even with that, my double major was crazy expensive, so I transferred home to Montana State University. The curriculum was wonderful, but I felt like something was missing, so I begged local event stylist Catalyn Green to let me be her intern. It was here that I fell in love with events, styling, and entertainment. And from there, I finished my degree in Italy, which of course was amazing. When I returned, my mom had moved to Texas, so I decided it was time for me to go see a big city as well, so I went with. It had always been a goal of mine to be a window designer, so the day I arrived, I got a job in anthropology. Turns out that's a highly coveted job, so I moved on. My first real job was also my worst. I coded HTML for spam car dealer emails. Terrible! So I quit and went to intern for Livestrong for free. I was on the events team here and we organized their national events. It was great. Things started to go a bit south with Lance though, so I decided to look elsewhere. Turns out, #designer on Twitter led me to an interview with a company in Charlotte, North Carolina named Adams Outdoor Advertising. I didn't know a soul, but I moved anyways and I took a job as graphic designer. About a year later, I was promoted to art director. I absolutely loved leading a team of designers and AEs to find the best solutions for our clients. I loved my job, and I also loved Charlotte, which led me to get involved with things like We Love CLT, a monthly speakers series meant to bring interesting people together. I taught lettering for Scale Pop, a company meant to make in-person learning accessible, and I was a facilitator at City Jam, a weekend that helped community members use the design thinking process in order to solve real issues affecting its people. Then, we had a crazy idea. My boyfriend and I decided to take a risk and move to Montana for the summer. I would freelance, and he was able to work remotely. And that brings us to right here, right now. So while we were in Montana, Jason's job ended up going elsewhere, so he needed to find a new job. I was still able to freelance, and Nashville, Tennessee is where he found his next job. I was originally planning on finding a full-time position when I got here, but I realized that I had enough freelance to keep going, so I decided to give it a try. And almost a year later, I'm still here freelancing. And that's why I'm sharing this journey with you. So all of that experience helps me provide a variety of services for my clients, but mostly I help brands and companies refine their message and make sure that they're telling it through a cohesive way with graphics and copy so that their customer is actually hearing what they are trying to say. And that means anything from PowerPoints to one-sheeters to websites to app design. And then obviously I do a lot of hand lettering. What are your freelance businesses? I really want to know. Oh, and asterisk very quickly, I am so sorry it's been so long. There's been a lot going on, so next week this video is going to explain all of that, which I promise it's been a crazy ride, so make sure you catch that. Until then, thanks. I'll see you next time.